Hello and welcome to Taste of Recovery. I'm George C. Taste of Recovery is a daily podcast for members of any 12-step recovery program involving food addiction, obesity, or overeating. For most of us, recovery comes one day at a time. Every day, to stay in fit spiritual condition, we need to hear a little experience, strength, and hope. I hope Taste of Recovery helps you stay motivated to eat healthy, to lose weight, and to keep it off permanently, starting today. Today's podcast, number 1901, is entitled Step 1, Powerless but Not Over Everything. My name is George C. I'm a food addict. That means I'm powerless over food. Some people say I'm powerless over everything, but I'm not so sure. Not long ago, I became aware that I could not maintain control of my eating, at least not 100% of the time. Sometimes I simply lost control. I binged. Now, when I say I binged, here's an example of what I mean. I would drive home from work on my lunch hour. On my way home, I would stop by a pizza parlor and pick up a large pepperoni pizza. Then, I would stop by a grocery store and buy the biggest bag of M&Ms they had. Then I would go home and eat all that food in 20 minutes. I always loved pizza and candy, but this extreme behavior came on fairly suddenly, over the course of a few months. Toward the end, it was happening daily, and it scared me. Once in a while, right before I started a binge, I would become aware that my overeating was wrong. Yet at the same time, I was aware that absolutely nothing was going to prevent me from overeating. I couldn't stop myself. My logical mind knew overeating was bad, but my addictive mind craved the food so much, it was irresistible. It felt odd to be aware of both mindsets at the same time and be helpless to do anything to stop the binge. A long time ago, I could resist overeating 100% of the time using willpower alone. I could promise myself in the morning I would eat healthy or not eat at all, and live up to the promise all throughout the day, 100% of the time. Oh, it was definitely a struggle, but I could do it. But usually, right after I exerted all that willpower, I binged again. Over time, I gradually lost more and more control. Eventually, I couldn't even maintain my resolve past mid-breakfast. Some days it did feel like I was powerless over everything. But really, it only seemed like I was powerless over everything because food was my everything. I guess I never realized how my life revolved around food. I never made the connection between my eating and my troubles. I felt bad about my troubles, and I ate to feel better. But I started piling on the weight. I became socially awkward and medically sick. Eventually, eating became both the cause of and the solution to my worst trouble, obesity. It was a perfect, vicious cycle. Eating to feel better about being fat. Ugh. Becoming aware of this vicious cycle was my start on Step 1. Step 1 suggests that I admit I'm powerless over my addiction. It does not suggest that I admit I am powerless over everything. When I think about it, if I were powerless over everything, what would be the point of doing anything, let alone the steps? Now, certainly I'm not powerless over everything. I'm powerless over many things, above all my cravings, my addiction to food. But I can go to meetings, I can call fellow overeaters, and I can do the steps. I'm not powerless over those things. At this point, I don't just want to lose weight temporarily. If I don't find a permanent, lifetime solution, I know I'll just gain the weight back again later. So I don't want another diet. I don't want another exercise program. I don't want another self-help book. And I definitely don't want surgery. These are all short-term solutions to a long-term problem. I need to stop overeating permanently. Sometimes I feel depressed because I know in my current state of mind I will occasionally feel the urge to overeat. But I don't believe there's nothing I can do about it. It says all throughout the big book that alcoholics are powerless over the first drink. Well, I am powerless over the first bite. I accept that as a fact. What can I do about it? What do alcoholics do? They trust in a higher power in step 2. They clean house in steps 3 through 11. They help others in step 12. And at some point along the way, their cravings just disappear. Yes, page 85 of the big book talks about neutrality. It says, and I quote, "We are not fighting alcohol, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we had been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We have not even sworn off. Instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist for us." That means for recovered alcoholics, cravings just go away. Alcoholics stop wanting alcohol. Maybe alcoholics remain powerless forever over their cravings, but what difference does it make if they stop experiencing the cravings and instead start experiencing neutrality? I want to stop wanting to overeat. Is neutrality possible for me? I know my problem is lack of willpower. I'm powerless over food. I can't battle my cravings. The cravings will always beat out my logical reasoning. Will the 12 steps remove my cravings permanently? I hope so. The 12 steps focus me on cleaning house, on fixing my life, not on resisting my urge for food. I don't know why this works, but it does. I've been working the 12 steps of recovery from food addiction since April 2017. I was 228 pounds when I started, and within 6 months I got down to under 175 pounds. So I've kept off 50 plus pounds for over a year. Will the 12 steps work permanently? I don't know. All I know is they've worked better than anything else I've tried, and I've tried a lot. The 12 steps show me what I'm powerless over and what I'm not powerless over. The 12 steps give me things to do that I'm not powerless over. The 12 steps give me hope that the effort I put in will work forever, because they work today. And for me, for now, forever just means one day at a time. I hope you enjoyed today's Taste of Recovery. The theme song of this non-commercial podcast is Teamwork by Scott Holmes. To suggest another topic for this program or to contribute your own experience, strength, and hope, send me an email at saginawgeorge@gmail.com or click on the Taste of Recovery link at foodaholics.net. Taste of Recovery. Oh, how sweet it is.